Hey folks, welcome back to the Dormouse's desk. This here is the Dormouse's desk, and you have clicked on a currently inked video. So that's what we're doing today, currently inked. I've had a whirlwind adventure with the inks this month and the pens that I've put them in. Some really good stuff, some not so great stuff, but why don't you come on in and we'll talk all about it. Alright, so I guess I can put this up in here somewhere. I don't think it really counts. Oh, actually, you know what? I've been using this same ink rag for ever. Since I started with fountain pens, and every so often I'll bleach it out. And you can see bleach doesn't salvage everything. But I'll use this. It's clean, I swear. The first pen is one of the pens that the Endless Pens actually sent to a bunch of the Pelican hubs. They sent a lot of these student pens with stickers, and this coupon expires right before Fountain Pen Day, but that's okay. Free pen, very cool. So we got to pick what colors that we wanted. But yeah, it's just a basic little student pen. It came with a black ink cartridge. And this month is September. The year is 2023, I think. Who knows anymore? But yeah, it writes, if I can hold on to it, it writes really nicely. Not at all bad for a student pen. And I think Endless might be selling these for $6 on their website. So really, like, nice little starter pen. No issues there. It didn't come with a converter. You can probably find a converter for them. But the cartridges are really big. That is a huge cartridge, so if you wanted to refill it with something, you know, it'll last forever. Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so, kind of pen one. You're still very far away. Hold on. Okay. The first pen this month is a Lami 2000. This has a medium nib on it. This pen is great. If you're waffling over whether or not to buy it, maybe you don't like the Safaris or the All-Stars or whatever, and so you think that you might not like a Lami 2000, you're probably wrong. You're probably wrong. This pen is awesome. If you prefer really wet writing pens, then you will like this pen. And I know some people don't like the metal section, but when I'm holding it, I hold it right on the cusp of the metal section and the Macrolon section, so that doesn't bother me. And the metal section doesn't feel cold to me either. It's cool, but it's not like chilly. So if you're worried that this might not be a pen that'll take you into winter, I don't have that experience where it ever feels too cold for me, and it warms up fast. Like it comes up to skin temperature quickly. So, you know, in case you're waffling, try it. You can find them on the aftermarket pretty inexpensively. And usually around Fountain Pen Day and in the month of November, a lot of the Lami stuff goes on sale. So go back to Endless Pens and check out the Lami stuff. Okay, so this is a Troublemaker ink. And this is Abalone. This ink was great in this pen. I wrote out the pen really quickly this month and had to refill it. So there's not a lot left in my sample. And I might just dump it all out onto the page. Because we're reckless. I don't think my dip nib would have been able to have gotten, or my automatic pen probably would not have been able to have gotten that ink out. I really enjoyed writing with this month. It's dark enough to read, it has a lot of shading in it, and there's a lot of color variation in there as well. It was just really pretty. So yeah, that's pen number 1. We had a good time. Next pen is a Pelican M250, M205. I don't know. It's like a semi-vintage demonstrator pen. I think it's from like early 2000s. If you want to call that vintage. No something. And this has I believe it's a cursive italic nib on it. It's a little bit sharp, but it's really pleasant to write with, if those two things make any sense. So this has Vinta Deepwater Blue, which I should pull that out. So it's Vinta Deepwater Blue, and I believe that says Lucia. The cursive is very difficult to read. We'll just call it Deepwater Blue. I also wrote this pen out, and so I'm on my second fill. I wanted to show these next to each other because they're different. They're different from one another, but they're also pretty similar. And that was a mess. They're pretty similar in the writing. I had to really question myself when I was refilling my pens to make sure that I was refilling them with the correct ink. I was not sure at one point. So every experience I've had so far with this pen has been great. Every ink I've put in here has been really fantastic. I'm very happy with this pen. I love it. And you can put any color in it. It's great. It's great. It's great. It might be my favorite Pelican pen. It might be. Okay, so from blue, let's go to blue. Okay, so this pen is a Twisp Eco white and rose gold. This was the very second pen that I bought. I no longer have my first pen. My first pen was a Lami All-Star, and this was my second pen. And this has a medium nib on it. This ink is Wearingal Robinson Clipson. This is not my favorite ink in this pen. I think this ink needs a little bit wetter of a pen. I mean, it's fine. And it really depends on the paper you put it on. Most of my writing lately has been on the Nemesine paper or Nemosine or however you want to pronounce it. It's been on that paper because those are the notebooks that I have for school, and that is where I write the most, is for note-taking for school. And that paper is just a little bit drier than Tomoe River, not a lot. I love the paper. It's really pleasant to write with. Inks dry very fast on it, which is great for note-taking. But sometimes it can be a little bit too dry for some of these more frou-frou inks, like this one. I've not done a proper swatch that bottle yet, I don't think. I am so behind on my videos. But not currently inked. All of my currently inks are current. Yeah, but I love that there's just like this little bit of green in the base of this. It's really pretty. And yeah, in my Hobonichi and in books like this, it's great. It's like a really like perfect combination. It feels fine out of the pen, but on drier papers, you're not going to have as nice of an experience. That's just the way that goes. But yeah, super pretty ink. I had completely forgotten that so much of my ink this month was actually inks that I have a bottle of. Doesn't usually happen that way. So I didn't bother to like pull any of them out because I have this here, and that's usually where I put my currently inked inks, unless they're a bottle, and most of them are bottles. Okay. I don't even know what most of those are. Okay. This is a Twisp Eco. This is the glow-in-the-dark purple or glow purple. And it has a broad nib on it. See, look how this is drying. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay. Broad nib. And this ink is Troublemaker. Milky Ocean. Again, same issue with paper, since most of my writing is done on the Nemesine paper. It felt really, really dry, but again, in the Hobonichi, it felt great. On Tomoe River, it's great. Okay, next. This is my fully custom Kaweco AL Sport, All Sport. I'll show you what makes it fully custom, is that it is an iguana blue and vibrant violet, I believe was the purple name for this. And it's just like given me so much like 90s vibes, like early 90s vibes. I had a windbreaker that was in these two colors, and also some like hot pink. It was like this color, and hot pink. Man, those were the days. This is a double broad. And the ink is, wow, I hit a bump. This combination was really fun to write with. Flowed really nicely, and the shimmer in this, y'all, the shimmer. Okay, so you know me and how I'm not big into shimmer. But this ink is so awesome. Like, the shimmer in it just is so complimentary to the color. And it worked really well with my, like, 90s vibe. Pen. Super good. Super good. Okay. So now we have this. It looks really dark. This is a franklin-christoph model 46. Yes, it's a 46. And this is a green diamond cast material. And the nib is an architect nib. And the ink is... So, I had a lot of issues with this ink coming out of this pen, and I didn't end up working with it very much because it was so dry feeling. And so I added a drop of white lightning, and that didn't work. And so then I added a drop of Troublemaker Hanging Rice, because it's a little bit darker, and I was hoping that it would make it a little bit more legible, and it did, but it also drastically changed the color. It's now pretty yellowy looking, and you'll see the difference in the swatch here. This is not a yellowy ink, but it wasn't great. It wasn't a great experience. It's just super dry. I think if I try it again, and I only have a little tiny sample left, if I try it again, I'll put it in the Lami 2000, or maybe even in the in that Pelican. Just because. Yeah, so sea glass is very blue. Hanging rice is very yellow as far as greens are concerned. And I thought it was like a really nice, like, complementary color to the pen, but man, it was just rough. It was rough using that pen. Yeah, next time in a very wet pen. Last but not least, and also, this is a new pen for me this month. This is a Sailor Pro Gear Imperial Black that I picked up because I needed a pen for this ink. And you may be thinking, what the hell's wrong with her? Why would she put that ink in such a nice pen? And I'll be honest, you know, I probably wouldn't have recommended this either, but I experimented. I received a sample of this ink from Van Ness. Not for free. They didn't just like send it to me. I ordered it. I ordered a sample of this ink from Van Ness, and I put it in a Twisp Eco because, you know, if you ruin an Eco, it's really not the end of the world. But I also wanted to put it in a pen that I really enjoyed writing with, and I like the Ecos. So I put it in there. I wrote it out completely because I loved the way this ink feels. And so I tried cleaning it, and I'm like, if it cleans well, then I'm gonna put it in a nicer pen. And it cleaned out perfectly with distilled water. If you haven't seen Inky Rock's video on this ink, and you're interested in a black ink like this, then I would recommend checking her video out. If I remember, I will link to it in like up here or wherever, like around here. I'll link to it. But yeah, so I said, well, if it cleans out of the Eco well, then I'll put it in a pen that I actually want to spend a majority of my writing time with. And that's what the Eco was in this ink. It's just it's easy for me to read my notes. I don't know what to say about it. But other than, like, I really love it. It's like the contrast on the page. Nothing beats a good black ink, y'all. Just black is beautiful, and yeah, there's not any like shading or shimmer or anything, but it is like super black, and it feels really nice coming out of the pen. So this pen has a 24K gold nib that has been plated in this black color. So it's like a very stealth pen. It has a medium nib. This is I try to be as obnoxious as possible anytime I say the name of this ink. I have no idea how it's pronounced in Japanese, but chokoro sounds fun. That is way too much. When I go to do the wash with the water at the end, it's gonna be ugly. So prepare yourselves. This is not meant to be mixed with water. If you use this for art, you're gonna be using it for like line drawings and not using it for color. Right? And that's about the extent of that. All right, so I will let these dry and I will be right back with you. Okay, so pretty much everything is dry now. And we can take a look at the back of the page as well. But the abalone, it breaks up so beautifully with all the blues and the purples. The deep water blue doesn't break up as much, but still you can see how similar they actually are. And if I had them in a similarly sized nib, you can see why I had some troubles telling them apart when they came out of the pen, second guessing myself. But yeah, really enjoyed both of those. It was very nice. Robinson Crusoe, also really gorgeous. You get some haloing of dark blue around the edges of your writing and your swatches. Really pretty. You also have those deep, not deep green, those lighter green spots there. Milky Ocean, also lots of purple, lots of blue. It's kind of like an opposite of abalone, except like lighter and, more vibrant. If you want a more subdued Milky Ocean, look at abalone or Deepwater Blue. And then this Van Diemen's Parrotfish. Oh, was that all off screen with the Milky Ocean? I'm so sorry. So the parrotfish has this amazing purple shimmer, which matches so well with the section here. I'm super stoked about this combination. It's such a good combination between the pen and the ink. Is really great. No flow issues at all with this. It was really pleasant. Everything on every paper that I wrote on it with, it was great. It was great. Loved it. Troublemaker Sea Glass. You can see the difference between the writing and the swatch. The swatch has a lot more of these like darker. It's not brown. It's really more of like a. Actually, maybe it is sort of brown. It's like a reddish like undertone. And when I added the hanging rice, it really turned the ink that's in that cartridge converter, not the cartridge. It turned it more yellow, which is crazy for only adding. I only added a drop and it turned everything just yellow. But yeah, so there's some reddish undertones there. And then Jokoro, you can see, is super black. I did on the live, I did swatching all black inks, and this is one of them. So if you want to see some direct comparisons to this ink to other black inks, I did a bunch of them. Go check that out. I'll again try to put it in the corner over here. But yeah, super black. It dries down matte. It's still a little bit wet, but it's mostly dry. There is no sheen on this. It is a matte drying ink. There's no shading. It's just, it is what it is. And you can see what I mean by the wash is not going to be pretty at all. This is on the permanent side, y'all. Okay, so let's take a look at the back of the page, see what kind of messes we have. So we had bleed through on everything but the platinum ink. Just look at that. Isn't that amazing? I'm telling y'all, this ink is really magical. I love it so much. And I should, because look how gorgeous these inks are. These are really beautiful inks. And honestly, I guess all of these inks could be considered troublemaker ink in some form or fashion. The troublemaker inks are literally on the dry side, so you're gonna have issues with that. Shimmer inks could cause clogging, maybe, depending on the pen that you put it in. Again, I've not had any issues with that. Troublemaker dry. The Wearingle was dry. The platinum, if you don't clean your pen properly with distilled water, you may have issues there. So yeah, all of the inks in one form or fashion are troublemaker inks. Really, I think the least troublesome one is the platinum. And I am on the second cartridge fill, not converter fill, because I fill the cartridge because the cartridges hold more than the converters, and I need to refill it again. So this is the second fill of this cartridge in this pen, on top of the Eco that I had it in last month, which I didn't include it in last month's currently inked because it was so like late in the month and I hadn't had a lot of time with it. So yeah, I would say within a month I've gone through an eco fill and then two cartridges of this sailor. So can you tell that I like it? I don't know. I don't think I've ever gone through that much of one ink in such a short amount of time. This is going to be expensive for me because these are so expensive. These bottles of ink are so expensive. But anyway, so yeah, that's my September. What do you have inked? Do you have any of these inked right now? Have you tried the Platinum Chokoro? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you want to tell YouTube that you enjoyed this experience and you want other people to enjoy my videos, the best thing that you can do is leave a comment or a like or subscribe, and you can share the video, of course, as well. But anyway, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me while I swatch this month's inks. I hope you have a great one, and I hope the inks that you chose this month were better behaved than all of these troublemakers. Have a good one. Bye.